demonstration. Where were the parents? More, and when I say more allegations surrounding the baby oil man. As we learn of these new allegations, there are minors. The youngest victim is alleged to be 9 years old. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is only the opinions of mine and others. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is only allegedly. Now, I thought we was almost done. With the allegations. Salute Perk, salute Miss Lady T, salute 80s baby. Miss Lady T says, I don't believe that he was messing with a 9-year-old. Salute Nola, salute. Now, some things I'm with you, Miss Lady T. Some things is just far-fetched for me to believe. Here's my thing with the minors, all right? They're not saying one minor. They're not saying 2 or 3, 4, or 5 minors. They are saying close to 60 minors. Now, this is the last time that I checked. The numbers may have went up. Salute, Trina. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute, Trina. Now, you have 60 minors, okay? Where were the parents? Where were the parents? And you mean to tell me out of 60 minors, none of the parents, none of them attempted to come forward? See, here's the thing. And I'm sure we all can bear witness to this. It's one thing if you do something to a man. He might let it slide. It's one thing if you do something to a woman. She might let it slide. However, when you do something to a child and that child parents are active, them parents are active in that child's life, even if the parents aren't active in the child's life, but the parents are active in that child's life, and you do something to that child, father or mother, don't make a difference who you is. That father and that mother ain't going to stop until they physically put hands on you. And we talking about 60 parents. 60 parents. So this one is kind of far-fetched for me to believe. That's why we're here to chop it up. That's why we're here to get to the bottom of this. It's so much, y'all. It's so much. Let me just start off with a clip. Now, allegedly, this is the attorney. This is the attorney that many should be thanking, because she went through a struggle to get the case and these allegations against baby oil man. She went through a struggle to get it heard. People were telling her, let it go. So flowers to this attorney. Salute, Nisha. Salute, positive vibes. Salute, y'all.
Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, thank you for being with us.
That's her name, Ariel Mitchell. Salute to Ariel Mitchell.
Client filed a police report at the time of the incident, but was afraid to put Sean Combs' name on the report. What happened?
So at the time when she was able to make her hearing escape from her assault, she ran down the street and a neighbor took her in, and that's how she was able to contact the police. At that time, she was very afraid to name.
Salute, Miss Parker. So at the time, she was very afraid. But as she said, she escaped, and the neighbor took her in.
Mr. Combs, mainly because this was at the height of his career. She felt crazy even telling the neighbor who it was and feeling like no one would believe her. And I too feel the same way because in 2021, this is a case that's actually still pending in Florida courts. Mr. Combs is named as a defendant in a lawsuit that I have with Trey Songz. Also in 2022, Mr. Combs was his home rather was the location of two separate sexual assaults by young ladies by Chris Brown. And in 2021,
So he got Trey Songz. He's named as a defendant in the Trey Songz case against some women. He's also known as a defendant in a Chris Brown case. And this is why people were speaking on the celebrities that were involved, because Baby Oil Man isn't the only celebrity that was moving like this. There were plenty of other celebrities that was getting down like this. So his name is on paperworks of other celebrities that's charged with the same kind of charges.
in 2022, I personally was sounding the alarm about Mr. Combs that there was something was not right, that these acts, these sexual assaults kept occurring at his home, and no one wanted to listen to me.
Stop right there. Salute Caramel. Salute Caramel. Salute Corbin. Salute Corbin. She said no one would listen to her. But it was strange that these sexual acts kept happening at his home. So this is why they are going after any and everybody that financially benefited off of the Baby Oil Man parties. Any and everybody that was there that encouraged the activities that was going on. Any and everybody that was participating. There were people that were getting paid thousands and thousands of dollars to turn the blind's eye. Yes. Yes. There were people getting paid thousands and thousands of dollars to turn the blind's eye.
No one wanted to believe me. And then I had individuals, including a celebrity chef and other high profile celebrities and politicians in Miami, who were warning me that my life was in danger if I persisted.
So she said there were politicians, high-ranking politicians in Miami, celebrity chefs, and other high-ranking officials that was warning her, look, your life is in danger. So I guess we see why the victims were scared. I guess we can see why many of the victims were scared to come out and mention his name. Also filed charges. She was warned, back off. Your life is in danger.
And these claims against Mr. Combs. So I truly believe that all of these individuals who are now coming forward are doing so now because now finally they're feeling safe that they can make these claims without fear of harm or retribution.
You know, in another universe, I would have thought, Ariel, that that's far-fetched. But now that I know so many other women are saying I was threatened. I was threatened that a pornographic tape of me would be revealed. I was threatened my career would end. All sorts of threats that they came out against Sean Combs. It's not far-fetched at all what you're saying. Could you tell me about what your client says happened the night she says Sean Combs sex assaulted her?
Yes, so what she told me was she was with a friend, and the friend gets a phone call from Mr. Combs asking him what he was doing and if he could come over. And he said, "Sure, I'm just having at home having some friends over." Mr. Combs came with Christina Quorum, who we know Mr. Combs to say that that's his right hand woman. He shouted her out in that BET speech where he named Cassie at the end of the video for staying with him through the dark times. My client has identified Ms. Quorum as an additional person who will be named as a defendant in our lawsuit, who was present at the time. She said Ms. Quorum and Mr. Combs were making jokes about sex trafficking her, about how she would be a good person.
I'm going to stop it right there. You got to be sick. That's sick. And that's why I said all women aren't righteous. All women aren't virtuous. And you got a lot of females out here that are just as worse as these men. Because believe it or not, salute Cotan, salute Pee Wee, you got women that help men do these heinous acts towards women. You have women that have no respect for themselves as well as other women.
To take to the parties, and that a lot of men would like her. And eventually she was given, everybody started drinking. She was given a drink, and she said she took one sip and knew something was off and stopped drinking and started to feel woozy. And then Mr. Combs assaulted her with an inanimate object, which I'll name in our complaint, which is coming soon, and then instructed another gentleman who was there to penetrate her with his, while Mr. Combs was in the corner watching. And
Wow. I had to stop it, y'all. Wow. Salute, Tommy. Wow. Ms. Parker says this has been going on for years. Carmel says, I wonder if any women kept attending parties after their first encounter. There were many that kept attending, Carmel. There were many of women. Salute, Tam. Salute, Tam. Now you have a woman that's there joking with Baby Oil Man about sex trafficking another woman. This is why the majority of us, I'm not even going to say the majority of us, this is why most of us says that Baby Oil Man shouldn't be the only one to go down. They all need to go to prison, especially if their parents, it's nowhere in the world that a 9-year-old child should be in the company of any adult without their parent unless it's a close family member. And the way that things are going down today, you can't even trust your immediate family members with your child.
pleasuring himself.
Okay, Ariel. Guys, you're hearing Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, who is representing yet another claimant against Combs. For those of you that want to buy into the photos of him drinking champagne and pouring it on people and his fur coats and his diamond necklaces and his gold chains, blah, blah. You know, the devil can dress up in a tuxedo too. Does that mean anything to me? No, it does not. What your client is saying predates by years the federal indictment. What is she, clairvoyant? She is saying she was invited to a party. She is saying that there was talk of trafficking her. In other words, farming her out to other men that would enjoy meeting her.
Let's talk about these parents, y'all. We're going to get back to the other cases, but let's talk about these parents. Let's chop it up about these parents. Y'all send me some comments. Let's chop it up about these parents. Should the parents be just as guilty as baby oil man. Because like I said, it's one thing if you do something to a man or a woman. It depends on how they feeling. They just might let you slide. Salute kicking it with the Rooks. Appreciate you for pulling up. It's one thing, but you do something to a man's child, you do something to a woman's child, hell, that don't even have to be the man's child. That don't even have to be the woman's child. Salute, Yummy. People don't play about their children. People don't play about children, period. Children has always been off limits to me. Children has always been off limits to any and everybody that I ran with. We just ain't play when it came to children. Salute Perp. Perp says they needed to be charged too. Carmel says, what type of property gifts did he give the parents? We trying to find that out. As of right now, he promised these minors, 9-year-olds. I think the oldest was 14 or maybe 15. But they were between the ages of 9 and 15. He promised them record deals. Drop a one if y'all believe this. Drop a two if this is something likely that y'all don't believe. And right now, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. However, I could be wrong. The old man can be wrong. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that 60 minors? This took place, they're saying it's 60 or more minors between the ages of 9 and 14, 15 years old. He flew out to New York. He promised them record contracts, record deals. Allegedly, the 14-year-old, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but allegedly a 14-year-old did say, a 14-year-old girl did say they put something in her drink and he SA'd her, a 14-year-old. I can't say that it didn't happen. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. And I get it. I get it. Like I said, I get some things. And I get that he had power. We talking about baby oil man, P. Diddy. He had money. He had power. He had friends in high places. But the curious thing to me, and I was thinking about this all day long, out of everybody, out of all of this, all of the accusations, nobody bucked back on baby oil man, because you got to know, baby oil man might be dangerous, but you got some jokers out here that's just as dangerous as baby oil man. You got some jokers out here that don't even got no money. You got some jokers that ain't even playing with no money, that if you touch one of theirs, they coming to see you about theirs. Go back to that club shooting with the young lady, Natasha, remember? How did she say that whole incident happened? She said baby oil man and Shine was coming through, and she said her neighbor, I can't remember his name, but they bumped into the neighbor, the dude that she know. What she say happened? She said the dude that she know smacked baby oil man in the face with a whole lot of money, threw a whole lot of money at him. So I get it that baby oil man is dangerous, but I mean, in every hood, there are people that are way dangerous than baby oil man. And that's in every hood. That's in every city. I'm not even going to take it to the hood. I'm going to take it worldwide. So all this, everybody was scared of baby oil man. I ain't buying it. Somebody can correct me wrong in the chat. I ain't buying it. Carmel says those kids' parents could have been in law enforcement. Ms. Parker says, I believe it though, Shank. Carmel says, talk heavy, Shank. Yummy says, that ish goes deep down the rabbit hole. Somebody talk back to me. Money makes that world go around, and it's sick how corrupt it will make these people. Caramel says it doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. Ms. Parker says, don't forget that young blue girl that said he adopted her off the streets. Nobody gave him no clap back. Nobody decided to hold up. Come on, all these people now, all these people, nobody took it to the streets on Baby Oil Man. I seen this play so many times. And I'm sure many of y'all seen this same play so many times. Come on. Somebody gonna clap back. I'm just being honest with you. Somebody gonna clap back. So we got these minors. We got these babies. Caramel says, ain't no way too many coming forward out of nowhere. Everybody just coming out of nowhere. The most important thing to focus on, what are they looking for? Chicken with the Rook says, right, nobody. Yummy Yum says, money is power within these government institutions. Kicking with the Rook says, hard to believe. Nobody clapped back. Ms. Parker says, J-Lo's publicist made her get away just in time. Right. Her publicist said, if you date him, if you continue to be with him, he's going to ruin you in your career. Perp says, Shank, this was a long time coming. I believe it's been going on for years. Sound like you for him, Shank, no. Caramel says, funds. This been going on for years. Sound like you for him, Shank, no. It's like, and the minus. Bryant says, this ish wild. He off the rocker. Yeah. Marty says, free Baby Oil Man. Hey, some of y'all feel that way. I mean, if you feel like Baby Oil Man should free, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Who am I? Who am I? If you feel like Baby Oil Man should be free, drop it in the chat. Kicking with the Rook says, Caramel, well, tree money talks. We got other victims. We got other victims that we're going to go to. Perp says now. Tommy says, I know this lawyer is on here all about applying pressure to get him to settle. Do y'all think he should settle? Do y'all think Baby Oil Man should settle? Do y'all think even if he settled, he's still going to end up with some prison time? Ms. Parker says, Shank, maybe not all, but most. I ain't lying, y'all. When I heard the minors, I was like, nah, I ain't buying that.
Against alleged sex trafficker P. Diddy.
Tommy says, if you don't remember, they tried the same exact thing with T.I. The stories just kept getting worse and worse, all lies. Perp says, free how? Is that no, I ain't going.
Another artist has broken her silence, saying she escaped one of Diddy's freak-offs when she was just 16. She says Diddy lured underage girls to these parties, using illegal drugs, drinks, food, and even candy. On top of this, she says P. Diddy himself angrily chased her down a hotel hallway after she tried to leave one of these freak-offs. This is just the latest in a long line of shocking allegations against the now disgraced music icon. I'm Serial SB, and this is Law and Crime News. 54-year-old Sean Diddy Combs faces a handful of federal charges stemming from allegations of racketeering and sex trafficking. But it's the number of allegations against Diddy that is still shocking, with more survivors seemingly coming forward by the day. It all started last November when Cassandra Ventura filed civil suit against Diddy in New York. She's known professionally as the singer Cassie, who began working with Diddy when she was just 19 years old. They had a relationship for multiple years, during which time Cassie alleges that Diddy emotionally, physically, and sexually assaulted her. Cassie's lawsuit specifically references sexual assault, alleging Diddy forced Cassie to have sex with prostitutes and even recorded this. Just one day after this lawsuit was filed, it was settled outside of court, but that didn't stop others from coming forward. A slew of civil suits against Diddy all allege an eerie pattern that the singer would drug or force his victims to drink alcohol before sexually assaulting them. Sometimes he would force these victims to have sex with prostitutes, and on top of that, he even recorded this. These recordings are referenced in multiple civil suits against Diddy, including the one filed by Rodney Jones, known professionally as Lil Rod, who was working as Diddy's producer starting in 2022. Lil Rod alleges this same pattern, that Diddy sexually assaulted him and also forced him to have sex with a prostitute. Hey, if you're out...
Now, let's talk about the allegations with my man, with the Rod dude, all right? Now, and fellas, y'all can help me out with this, all right? Ladies, y'all could join in as well. But when it comes to a man trying to take the manhood of another man, how does that happen? How does that happen if the man don't want it to take place? Some stuff for me is just far-fetched. Like with the ladies, I get it. I get it with the ladies. But what I don't get with the ladies is this other lady. It's another lady that I'm going to get to. She said that Baby Oil Man SA'd her for 4 years straight. And she became pregnant. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? And I know this is a touchy subject and it's sensitive, and I'm not making no mockery, ladies. I'm not making no mockery. But like I'm saying, some of these cases, some of these incidents, I have to say, he SA'd you for 4 years. For 4 years, he SA'd you. Y'all know what the SA stand for. And then you became pregnant. Y'all had to help me with that, lady, because I don't want to ride down and make it seem like, you know, I'm being hard on the woman. Ladies, are y'all seeing what I'm seeing, or are y'all seeing where I'm trying to go with this? For 4 years, this man SA'd you, and you ain't tell nobody, you ain't do nothing, and you couldn't get away from him? Ladies, help me out, because I don't want to ride down on it and make it seem like I'm bashing her. But some of the stuff, some of it, I'm just not buying it. Some of it. I'm not buying it. Some of it. He should be held accountable, though. Don't get it twisted. I do believe that some of the stuff is true, but the 4 years he SA'd this woman, the minors, I mean, like, why were y'all there? Now, and I want everybody to pay close attention to what I'm about to say, because this happens all the time. You could be with somebody and you know that this person is who they are. You know this person is moving foul, but you ride along with it, right? Just for your beneficiary gain off of it. Look, I know he a jacked up individual. I know she a jacked up individual. I don't care, long as I'm getting mine. And at the end of the day, that's the vibes that I've been getting from a lot of this. Sure, Sure. Some of them was just, gullible. Some of them was naive. Some of them didn't know no better. Sure. However, I got to call a spade a spade. Some of them knew what they were getting themselves into, and some of them, they was with it just to gain something out of it, whether it was the money, whether it was the fame. Clout chasing at its finest. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's be honest. Because if I find out that this is true about 60 minors, if I find out, I'm going to find the parents' names. I'm going to find their addresses. And yeah, I'm going to ride them. I'm going to dox them. I'm going to go hard on them. Because if you had your child, if you sent your 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12, if you sent your baby to be with baby oil man, and you allowed your baby to be used and confused and misused by baby oil man, I'm coming for you. I'm going to roast you. I'm going to go. Man, y'all might not even want to pull up. Y'all might not even want to pull up. I promise you, I'm going to go so hard on these parents because that's messed up. And that's an unfit father. That's an unfit mother. Now, I don't believe it. I don't. However, when it plays out and it comes out to be true, them parents, they can't say nothing. They can't say nothing. Let's move on, y'all, because I'm getting emotional with it. Please, Lord, don't let this be true. I'm going to jump to the chat, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm going to jump back down there to the chat. But you got to ask yourself, if it's true, why did y'all take y'all babies to baby oil man? So right now, I'm just not buying it. And I could be wrong. But I ain't buying it.
Another important allegation that there's apparently hundreds of hours worth of video and audio recordings showing Diddy and others participating in this illegal activity. And now, based on his indictment, we can confirm the feds have some of this electronic evidence, and it's part of their case against Diddy. He was indicted by a grand jury on September 16th on charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The indictment also brought up a term we'd originally heard in Lil Rod's lawsuit, freak-offs. According to the court docs, these freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. During these sessions, Diddy would force victims to use drugs, have sex with prostitutes, and be recorded while doing this, sometimes without their knowledge. So similar to what we've heard across multiple civil lawsuits, and now we're hearing the allegations from yet another accuser, the artist known as Good Friday.
Do any of y'all know anything about Good Friday? Do any of y'all know anything about the artist Good Friday? Do any of y'all know anything about the artist Good Friday? Let me know if any of y'all know about the artist Good Friday. Caramel says no. Kenny with the Rook says never heard of him. Let me backtrack. Does she look familiar? Does she look familiar to anybody? Tommy says, never heard of them, bro. Does she look familiar?
So similar to what we've heard across multiple civil lawsuits, and now we're hearing the allegations from yet another accuser, the artist known as Good Friday. According to her social media, Good Friday is a writer, director, actor, and singer who, by the way, has more than 11,000 Instagram followers. She initially broke her silence to The Sun, describing a harrowing incident from when she was only 16. This incident allegedly happened in 1999 in Toronto. That July, she and a friend went to an autograph signing promotion as part of the launch of Diddy's second album, Forever. When she met Diddy, Good Friday says she and her friends sang for him, and after that, he invited her to his party. She said, quote, "After we sang, he made his move. He was hitting on me, commenting on my beautiful eyes and complexion. He whispered to his security guard and then invited my friend and I back to his hotel, where he stated he was having a big party and other artists would be there. I told him we were only 16. He said, oh, it's okay. I don't check IDs at my parties." Diddy apparently threw a party at a 5-star hotel where he enticed young and underage women to come with the promise of drugs, drinks, and even candy. At the party, Diddy's security guards told guests they weren't allowed to use their phones. Good Friday says, quote, "The no phone situation was another red flag for me, and I began getting anxious. After that, Good Friday was allegedly taken to the first party that was in a loud and dimly lit room. There, people were allegedly openly having sex, as others offered these underage girls alcohol, drugs, and even record deals. She says she noticed right away there were more men than women at this party. Good Friday said, quote, "I lost my friend but found Puffy. I asked him about her, if he knew where she went, and he told me I need to ditch her. Instead, she tried to look for her friend and came upon a locked door. She said, quote, "I tried to open it and a security guard immediately came in to ask what I was doing and informed me that I wasn't allowed to go in that room until I was invited by Puffy to the other party. That's what the security called freak-offs, the other party." When Good Friday tried to leave, she alleges Diddy's security team manhandled her, refusing to let her go. She told The Sun, quote, "I almost had a panic attack when I saw Diddy coming from the freak-off room. Obviously, his security told him, and I ran to press the elevator button, hoping it would come so I wouldn't have to run down 20-plus flights of emergency exit stairs. He was kind of running toward me. This look on his face really terrified me. It's hard to explain, but I'm sure many others can explain that look of, like I was in trouble for leaving. It was just horrible. I was just praying that the elevator would come and I didn't have to talk to him." After that, she allegedly yelled out, saying she was only 16 and that it was past her curfew. She pulled out her phone and said her dad was calling. After that, she apparently ran into the elevator and was escorted down to the lobby with hotel security. Good Friday says she didn't tell anyone this story for years, saying, quote, "I feel so much sympathy for the victims and guilt for not coming out with my experience sooner." She also says she is, quote, "so proud of everyone who has come forward, especially Cassie, the courage it took her to be so vulnerable." After this news...
What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Once again, some of it, yeah. But then other things you just like, Cake says, just remember being famous has a price on it. Salute, beautiful. And that means for a male or female. Caramel says made up. I mean, you know, it sounds like you said, Caramel, it sounds like the Cassie situation. You know, come on, y'all. Come on. Come on.
reached out to Good Friday for an interview, but have not yet heard back.
Right.
But there's...
They reached out to her for an interview, but they ain't heard nothing back. Tommy says straight up, she made that up. And Andrew says narrowly escaped the baby oil. Caramel says yes. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. I'll ask y'all again. Where were the parents? Allegedly, there is allegations of baby oil man SAing up to 60 minors between the ages of 9 and 14. Where were the parents? Cake says this is all the time in Los Angeles. I'm not shocked.
More news on the Diddy front too, as new reports allege Diddy's freak-offs also included other high-profile celebrities. This is according to Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, an attorney for a woman who's filing suit against Diddy for an allegation dating back to 2018. This attorney says her client was sexually assaulted by Diddy with an object before he forced another man to sexually assault her, and after that she escaped. So far, the survivor's name isn't out there. Her attorney says they plan to file suit later this week. But meanwhile, she has gone public about some of these freak-off recordings that allegedly show a star even more high-profile than Diddy participating. She won't say who was on the video, but says it's no question that the person is in this pornographic video, and apparently they're very visible.
This is what I'm waiting for, y'all. I don't know about y'all. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the high profile sharks. I'm waiting for the politicians. I'm waiting for the pastors. I'm waiting for them, because that's what I can vision. I can vision a baby oil man party. I can vision politicians being there. I can vision pastors. I can vision celebrities, athletes, movie stars. I can vision that. I can vision some underage teenagers, maybe 16, maybe 17. I can't vision a 9-year-old. I can't vision a 10-year-old at a baby oil man's freak off parties. I can't. I'm not condoning the stuff, the things that he done. No. But if you spent time with me on the platform, y'all know I like to narrow things down to the facts. I don't believe in giving nobody any charges that aren't there. Some of y'all might say, well, Shane, if he's guilty of this, he must be guilty of that. That's not true. That's not true. We see that many times in the court of law. If any of y'all have ever went to court, if y'all was ever charged before in any court, whether it was state or the feds, you know, you may have been found guilty of this charge. You may have been found guilty of another charge. However, some charges you were found not guilty of. So just because you're charged with 7 charges doesn't mean that you're guilty of all 7. So I don't, like I said, for me, I don't believe in just giving anybody a charge that's just not theirs. You know, let's stick to the charge that's theirs. Let's stick to what we know they done. You know, I'm just, like I said, where were the parents? Where were the parents? When are the parents going to come out and speak on this? Where are the parents, y'all? Where are the parents? Carmel says Diddy dad was killed for ratting. Diddy gonna tell on everyone. Carmel says, right. Cake says, I know a parent with a 14-year-old and that does what she wants. Come home when she wants. She is out of control. Parents don't care. And I believe that, Cake. But 60, well, some of y'all might say, Shank, didn't Usher's mother send Usher with baby oil man when Usher was 12? So you got a point. I gotta keep it 100. Usher mother sent Usher with baby oil man, and she said, I done my homework. I investigated him. And you still sent your 12-year-old son? Because it was bigger than Usher. It was bigger than baby oil man. It was all about what Usher's mother was going to gain. Usher's mother saw a quick come up. Gotta call a spade a spade. If you see something different from what I see, please explain. Please explain. If you see something different from what I see, please explain. Usher said himself, he wouldn't send his child to a baby oils camp. So now we do have to look at possibility, maybe the 60 minors story, maybe it's true. I just don't see it. But then again, I didn't see Usher mother sending Usher at 12 years old. Man, it's some sick people out here. It's some sick people out here. Seriously. Seriously. These babies, man, and women, these babies. Give them a chance. Give them a chance. That's sad. You can't even trust your own mother. And what about the thousands, millions of young girls whose mothers pimp them out? How can you pimp your own daughter out for some crack, for some dope, for a few dollars?
But if that really is the case, why hasn't that person already faced charges?
If I had all the power, right?
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, why haven't these people faced charges? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like, why haven't they faced charges? Justin Bieber was another one. And then you see him. And you just look and you be like, damn. I'm not going to hold y'all that much longer. Give me a few more minutes of y'all time. Did any of y'all see the vice president election debate? Drop a 1 if y'all saw the vice presidential debate. I didn't get a chance to see it. Drop a 1 if y'all seen that vice presidential debate. Too cold saw it. Okay. We're going to be covering that tomorrow. I'm going to jump back into the politics tomorrow. So make sure y'all pull up tomorrow.
Federal indictments. That's where we're turning to criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Matthew Mangina. This is a complex case with a lot of different avenues, but let's start with the accusers that are coming forward, because even since his indictment a couple of weeks ago, we've heard from several additional accusers who are now coming forward with their story. So why do you think that is, that they're breaking their silence now?
Well, there could be a couple of different reasons. Obviously, they may feel a little more relaxed. Other people have come forward. It's difficult when one person comes forward and you're going against somebody with deep pockets and they can really come after you. But when you see, more and more people have experienced the same trauma that you have, you're a little more comfortable coming forward and talking about your victimization.
One of the allegations we're talking about today is this music artist, also a writer, a singer. Her name is Good Friday, that she goes by her stage name. And her allegations date back to the late 90s. Obviously, now we're in 2024, quite a ways away from that. But do you think they could have any weight as far as the indictment against Diddy? Could prosecutors be speaking with her?
Well, I certainly think that prosecutors will reach out to her and want to know her story and the trauma that she endured as a result of all this, and they'll also be looking to see, if it's consistent with what they already know, from other victims that resulted in the criminal indictment. So I think that it's important that these additional victims come forward. It's important because they can corroborate what they already know in terms of these prosecutions. And some of these people, may be, outside of the jurisdiction. There may be issues with statute of limitations in some instances. So those things will all have to be worked out. But there certainly are more people coming forward who are alleging that they've been victimized by Combs.
So these people are probably going to talk to investigators, potentially prosecutors, and obviously this is far down the line, even when this does come time for trial. Do you think any of these new accusers could testify?
Well, it's certainly possible if there are trials, whether those trials would be civil trials in which they're pursuing, monetary claims against Combs for his conduct.
I'ma stop it right there, y'all. Salute Capricorn Chronicles. Salute Capricorn Chronicles. I'ma stop it right there. And I'm going to ask the question again before I let you all get out of here. Where were the parents? Where were the parents? When these things, now according to this allegation, this happened back in the 90s. Salute Trollific, salute Trollific. This happened back in the 90s. We talking 24 years ago. We talking 25 years ago. I mean, y'all tell me. I mean, something that happened 25 years ago? Now here you come? Okay, my man said, well, it could be that they feel safe. Okay, but some of the things pertaining to baby oil, man, I just don't believe. I just don't believe. Some of these things pertaining to baby oil, man, I don't believe it. Should he be held accountable? Hell yeah. They did Cosby like that. Once again, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute. I'll see y'all back tomorrow. Salute.